Okay, so yesterday we had this, sorry, you guys. We had the assignment of answering these questions. So our first two test taking strategies we're really working on. So you need to read the questions carefully like a detective. Underline any clues that will help you answer it. So let's do that first. Which best describes how forces must interact for a sailboat to change direction against water current? All right, so describes forces. So we're going to have to be talking about forces. And remember, best, you want the best answer. So how they must interact for a sailboat to change direction against water current. Okay, so that's the first strategy. So I'm looking to describe how forces interact, change direction against water current. So now I'm going to go to strategy 2. Use your brain to answer the question on your own. Now, these questions do have multiple choice, but I took the multiple choice off. But when multiple choice is there, you need to cover your answers with your hand. I would just go like this and answer it on my own. I could answer it on a piece of scrap paper real quick, or I could just answer it in my head so I have a clear thought to be able to look at the answer choices to decide which ones were right or wrong. All right, so let me think about this. So a sailboat is on some kind of body of water and there's water current. Well, I've been to the beach before and I've been to the lake before. And I know when it's really wavy on a lake, sometimes there's water current that like makes me drift away from the beach, or if we're on a boat, it makes me drift away from the boat if I'm like out there floating. And in the ocean, I know that if I go too far out, a current could take me out into the ocean because of the waves. Like there's a current underneath the waves. So I'm going to draw a picture. I'm going to draw just a simple picture. Here's my boat. And it's sailing along, going that direction. Well, there's water currents. And the water current is going opposite. So I know if this, I want to change directions and go this way, the force behind my boat needs to be stronger than that current, because they need to be unbalanced forces. Because if the force of my motor pushing my boat was the same amount of force as the current, then it wouldn't go anywhere. So I would have to have a stronger force. And I know if I'm in the ocean and the current's kind of sweeping me away because of the waves, I have to swim harder to get back to the beach. So let's see. How much forces interact? They must be unbalanced for sure. And this, it doesn't even need to be a sentence. It kind of just like notes to you. So unbalanced forces are needed. The force behind the boat, whatever is powering the boat, need to be stronger than the current. Force behind boat, stronger than current. All right. So your answer might be a little bit different than mine, but it should be fairly similar. You definitely should know that it needs to be an unbalanced force, and the force of the boat needs to be stronger than the current in order to change any kind of direction. All right, so we answered that question. Now let's look at our question number 2, and we're going to do the same strategies over. So you're going to read carefully and underline clue words. So 2 cars, a heavier car, and a lighter car are pushed with equal force and are affected by the same amount of friction. Which best describes the effect on the distance the cars will move? Ooh, the distance the cars will move. All right, and we got that best there again. That whenever you guys see best in a question, especially if it's multiple choice, it means that that should be a clue to you that the answer choices, there's probably going to be two of them that are very similar. That you have to be very careful when you're reading them to look for clues that tells you one of them's not correct. And they're going to try to trick you anytime you see best. All right, so let's see. I'm going to draw a picture again. I'm really big about drawing pictures, but I'm going to make my cars circles. All right, so here's my heavier car. Here's my lighter car. I'm just making them some different sizes just so I remember them. Okay, so friction is the same, so that's not a factor in, and I'm going to read the question again. Which best describes the effect on the distance the cars will move? And they're pushed with equal force. So the same force. Okay, and they're going to move. So let's think about it. Think about you. If I was to push my little sister, I was going to push her in like a little car with wheels. So like one of those Playmobil cars. I was going to push her in the car. So I have the same amount of force. And then I was going to push my older brother that's way taller than me and bigger than me in that same little car. Which one, like the distance that they're going to go, who do you think will go farther? Your little sister, right? So I'm going to put will go farther. Won't go as far as the lighter one. All right, so there are my notes and what should be going on in my brain when I am going to answer these multiple choice questions. So make sure you guys check your answer. You can add some stuff to your answer. And then today we're going to talk about the next two test taking strategies.